Thanks for watching Puffing Golf down here today at Hamana Golf Club down on the practice chipping and putting green. And today I want to do a quick thoughts about what I believe to be the ABC of golf. So ability, belief and concentration, and how I think that will have an effect on my game and your game as well. I think each point has a few key things, and I think when thought about it actually makes sense. So this is my thoughts on the ABC of golf. So the first thing, the A, I believe, is ability. I think that everybody has a current ability, which is their current handicap. I don't think that your current handicap necessarily lies. I think if you look at your rounds, you'll notice that you probably have most of your rounds within 3 shots either way of your handicap. You'll have some good ones where you shoot some good scores, and you'll also have some bad ones like that where you don't play well, and it's just one of them things and you just got to forget about it really. I also think you have a potential. I think I've used, just an idea, I've used an eclectic of my last month as my potential. So in the month of January my eclectic score was 82, and in February my eclectic score was 74. I know that the courses are a bit shorter this time of year, it's still winter, so we are playing a slightly shorter courses, but I've only used rounds where it's been on main greens, so I haven't used any temporary greens for the eclectic scores. But I think it does show that my game is improving. I think it shows that the potential to get down to single figures is definitely there. Really. And I think as well it shows that you do need to rate each part of your game in order to improve. I certainly say the worst part of my game at the moment is my driving, and has been for some time. Iron play I'm pretty good. Chipping I'm improving. I've hit one bad one so far, but the rest are all pretty good around the hole. And then putting, you know, I can 3-putt as well as anybody else, so it's just about being honest about where your game is. But certainly the first thing I would say would be ability, and you just got to be honest about where your ability is. So the second thing, the B, is belief. And I think, like most things in life, if you wake up in the morning, sometimes you feel ready to go, and sometimes you feel like going back to bed. And I think in golf it's very, very similar. There are days when you're going to see every chip shot perfectly, you're going to see every line of putt, you're going to stand on the tee and want to smash it down the middle. And there are other days when you won't want to do any of that. You just won't fancy your game at all. And it's just the way it is, and I think the way to get around belief is to forget about it sometimes. Because there will be days when you're just simply not going to be able to play golf. There'll be other days when you'll be absolutely fantastic, and I just think it's one of those things where you've just got to accept that some days it isn't going to happen. But there is a counter to that, and I think that if you knuckle down some days, then you can turn a bad score into a good score. So I do think that belief is a key thing, and if you can get belief into your game, so if you can wake up and just think, yeah, do you know what, I'm here to play golf, I'm going to play golf, and I'm going to play to the best of my ability. And I think that once you do that and you have belief in your game, it will certainly lower your scores. So the final one is concentration. And I don't mean concentration as in I can quite happily sit at a desk with 1,000 shapes and pick out 5-letter shapes, because I don't have an issue with that. What I do have an issue is differentiating between what's a social round of golf and what's a competitive round of golf. And by that I mean golf is fun. Let's never forget, golf is fun. It's a fun game, we get to chat to people, we get to put the world to rights, and I'd never ever want to stop that about my golf game. But there has to come a time when you're trying to play in a competition where you forget about all that and you concentrate fully on what you're trying to do. So I don't mean concentrating to the point where you don't hit a bad shot. I've hit a bad shot there, but I'm not bothered by that, to be honest, because at the moment I'm practicing. So I'm not concentrating 100%, I'm just practicing, I'm trying to get better, and I'm not really worrying about what the end result is too much at the moment. I'll set a challenge later, where I'll try and get up and down 8 times with these balls. That then brings in more of a competition sort of element to the game and into practice, and that's where I really need to improve. I think as well a lot of it is your playing partners, because there's people that I love playing golf with because we get on well and we chat and we have a good time, but I can't play in competitions with them people, and I think I've finally worked that out. So there has to be a difference between playing golf for fun, which is what golf is, and playing golf to reduce your handicap and get better, which is what competitions are for. So last year I played about 90 rounds of golf and I played about 20 comps. So I've got to realise in my head that there's a fun side, and the roll up here at Ham Manor is excellent. There's about 20 to 40 people turn up, so you get to play with different people, you get to have a chat, you get to have a nice round of golf. It takes 4 hours, 4.5 hours, nobody cares because it's a round of golf, we're here to have a bit of fun. But then there's the competition side of things where I'm here to reduce my handicap, and I just think as soon as I realise what the difference between the two is, that's when my handicap's going to come down even better to what it is now. So the last one, concentration, not the traditional concentration as in focus, but more playing with the right people at the right time, which will hopefully enable me to get my handicap to come down. What I'm trying to say really about the ABC of golf is that golf is fun, golf should always be fun, and no one should take golf too seriously, and I certainly don't do that. But I do think at the same time, if you are trying to improve, then you do need to sometimes just knuckle down. And in terms of the amount of competitions that you play, which will affect your handicap, if you look at what you play in a year, you probably play in about a fifth or sixth of those games, those rounds, that really matter. The rest don't matter. That's when you can practice different things off tees, practice different chips around greens, maybe even putt with a hybrid or something to just make something different. But there has to be a time as well where we come here to Ham Manor and we come to a competition and we have to play better. And I think that that's what I'm trying to work out, is how I can improve my golf by improving my ability, my belief around the course, and my concentration in terms of who I play with and how I approach each game. So these are just my thoughts on what I think is the ABC of golf. So guys, thanks for watching Puffin Golf. If you've enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon.